This is TWiT.
This week in Ubuntu news, Canonical is trying to make one of their more annoying parts of development a whole lot less painful. They have launched a new command line tool called Workshop. And the basic idea is that instead of spending half of your afternoon setting up a development environment, installing the right version of Python, pulling in some random dependencies, configuring CUDA, breaking something else, fixing that, and then forgetting what you did months later, Workshop wants to make that a one-command job. The way it works is that you define your development environment in a simple YAML file, and that file says what your project needs. Maybe it needs NVIDIA CUDA, maybe it needs AMD ROCm, maybe it needs Llama or for local AI or a specific language runtime or some other SDK. That Workshop spins up that environment inside a sandboxed container ready to go without dumping all of those dependencies directly into your main system, which can also be a pain when working with different languages and environments. You know, with this, your project, each of them get a nice clean room to be built in. Everything that your project needs lives inside the Workshop environment. And when you're done, your main Ubuntu install is still clean, just pristine the way it was before. Your other projects are still clean, and you're not stuck with one project needing one version of a tool or another needing another. The classic problem of, it works on my machine, and one person on the team, has a project working perfectly, and then someone else clones the repo and immediately runs into errors because their setup is just slightly different from yours. Workshop is trying to make that environment reproducible. The same YAML file can be shared with your team, checked into version control, and used again later on another machine or even in a CI pipeline. And one detail that makes this more interesting than just another container wrapper is the SDK system. Workshop environments are built from SDK, and Canonical is launching with SDKs for tools like Llama, OpenCode, NVIDIA CUDA, AMD ROCm. Most of these come from an SDK store with versioned channels, kind of like the Snap Store. So instead of every developer hand building the same environment and hoping they pick the same versions, the project can be defined exactly what is needed. The environments run in unprivileged LXD containers, isolated from the host at the process, file system, and network level, while still sharing the host kernel. And if that environment needs access to something outside of the sandbox, like the GPU, the desktop, the SSH agent, or another host resource, it has to request that through a permission system, also inspired by Snaps. So the pitch is not just convenience, it's also repeatability and containment. It's still early, so we'll have to see how well it catches on, how good the SDK ecosystem is, and whether developments actually adopt it. But if everything works as advertised, this would be enough for me to adopt Ubuntu again as my main development distro of choice. Though I kind of wonder how easy this might be to install this on other distros once it's out there in the open. What do you guys think? I know you guys you have. Well, Jeff, you're not using Ubuntu anymore, but
no, I am. It's on my server.
Oh, right.
So I'm still on both sides of the fence.
I'm bouncing between Ubuntu 25.10 while I finish setting up Ubuntu 26.04. I've still got on the Ubuntu Pro support, Ubuntu 20.04 running.
Okay, update that. I'm guessing you don't really need that anymore.
Well, I've been trying to get everything set up so I can move my Plex server from that to another one. But it's still getting security updates because of Ubuntu Pro.
Yeah, with Pro you got time. You got 10 years. You got another 4 years to go on that. Yeah.
I thought maybe you might have such old hardware or something that, well, I can't really update because I lost kernel support or something,
When I tried doing the upgrade from 20.04 to 22.04, it switched me from XFCE to GNOME. And I lost all my settings as well. So I ended up rolling back to the last backup I had.
Oh, okay.
But with the Ubuntu Worksop, it does sound like it's going to be handy for developers.
Mm-hmm. And neither of you do a whole lot of that. I mean, neither do I. I'm I hobby
nothing
in it,
that I really share with the world.
I hobby in it sometimes when I have the time. But that's yeah.
My stuff is all if I do a little development, it's at work and it's very, very light and it's its own specialized setup. So, but I'm all for it because I mean, how many times? Well, good example. I'll give you a perfect example. I tried just before the show today to get Firefox to recognize the OBS loopback camera. Mine still will not work. I have to go through Chromium to make it work. But Ken said his does. And I even tried some of the workarounds and some of that. And they said, oh, change these settings, restart it. It doesn't help.
I don't know that this would help that being in a LXD environment, containerized. But I do know from my experience in the past when I've tried to learn various languages, I know whenever you set up a system, it's like, if you're reading a book or how-to or something, it's like, well, set these environmental variables and make sure to install these things and all these different things you got set up.
If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check out the Untitled Linux Show. You can find us in your favorite podcasting app or subscribe to our YouTube channel down in the links below. See you there.